Hi, I'm Paul Bowman, CEO at Wexer, the digital fitness specialist who deliver over 25 million fitness experiences for our partners worldwide. Welcome to the Wexer podcast, where I'll be speaking to top digital experts to bring you insights and advice to support your digital journeys. In today's episode, I'll be talking to Allison Mataya, who is the Managing Director of DMI. Allison, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Well, pleasure to have you. I've been excited for this one. It did take us a while to get it booked in, completely my fault, but we got there. Look, Allison, probably actually we'll do things slightly different. I think maybe explaining what DMI do from your lips is probably better than I could do. So, and then I think we go into your personal background because I think it kind of brings some context. So, what does DMI do?
Yeah, no, thanks for that. So DMI is a digital consultancy. We're focused on helping our clients through their journey on digital transformation in all its forms. We really think of ourselves as a company that is big enough to deliver and small enough to care. And so we've been a partner of Wexer's for many years, which we're very proud of. And just thrilled to be here.
Nice. And then I always kind of ask the same question. I used to talk about did fitness find you, or did you find fitness? But I think for this sake, I'm going to go, did wellness find you, or did you find wellness? Like, talk to me about your own journey within wellness.
Yeah. So I'm a team sport athlete. Okay. As played Olympic development field hockey, and for many years in my youth. As I got older, my fitness and wellness goals shifted, and certainly during the pandemic, a lot shifted. I used the pandemic, and I know some people use the pandemic to put on weight. I actually used the pandemic to lose weight, stop drinking, eat more healthy foods, exercise more, really just take some control of the life that had, spun out of control. Yeah. And so that's been kind of my journey for the last few years.
Let's probe into that, because that was quite a big movement in itself. I think people that traveled a lot, and I can contest to Allison travels a lot, like we all used to. Was it travel taking more time to improve that? Taking away travel, and was the factor to improve health, or was it just mindset shift in terms of wanting to improve?
It was certainly a bit of the travel stopping. There's no doubt when you got more, when there's more time, that helped. But it was also a mindset. I think, more than anything, it really was that. It was me saying that my health and my wellness was more important than almost anything else at that moment. And so it really became a priority for me, and it's been sticking. So
nice. And look, we spoke off camera in regards to the fact that, I think all companies have got some version of a wellness program that's kind of been forced upon them, and some are embracing them and actually leading the pack, and some are changing. But I think shifting gears here for the listeners in terms of like digital transformation trends that you've seen. Kind of, let's talk post-COVID. I think there's so many people who talked in COVID. So what are you seeing that will impact us in the next, short, mid, long term in regards to digital transformation?
Yeah, I mean, one major trend that we're seeing amongst our clients is this shift, honestly, from, and I know I led with digital transformation, but it really is now becoming more about convergence. And it's the sort of mixing of mature and new technologies to really be a combustion for advancements. And we see it very rapidly right now with some of our automotive clients who, we're leveraging AI in new ways to improve the driver experience, the connected experience within your vehicle. These vehicles are no longer, just, engineered through, nuts and bolts. They're really smart machines, and some more than others. But it's really an exciting space.
Oh, sorry, we just had a drop out there. I'm saying hopefully on the way to making the road safer.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
For all of us.
Those examples, have they been driven by well, let's focus on automotive. Like, has that been driven by the consumers wanting that? Like the introduction of autopilot and these type of things, or has that been driven by them that is forcing the consumers to change? What's your opinion on that?
Good question. I think certainly consumers, the driver is expecting more of this connectivity in their lives. We've been teaching them that through some of the other technologies that have been, become very accustomed to, whether it be through Google or Amazon or, some of these other technology companies. So I think they're coming to expect it in their vehicles, in their homes, and so I do think it's definitely being driven by the driver. But there's more that can be done on that side. I think the automotive industry is still very traditional in many ways. They still think of themselves, most of them, as engineering companies that are focused on, a waterfall approach. Got to get they plan their vehicles years in advance. They follow a very rigorous, very waterfall approach to rolling out those vehicles, and changing that is like moving the Titanic. So.
I can imagine. Well, like, is it over? I guess you can wear so many different hats in so many different industries, and of course within fitness, there's and fitness and wellness, there's always been a hybrid. I guess the need, exactly what a need to be more connected to your digital self and and the real self. So we're seeing, of course, different levels of wellness being applied across different groups in terms of if that's content creation or if that's just making things a lot easier and letting the smartphone control even door access control for hotels. Like, is that probably the biggest shift that you've seen come from the technology space? Is the I guess the word hybrid as an actual business strategy now?
It is. I think that it's going to grow. I think as more industries think about sort of how they're merging their legacy with their new, and we can't start new. You were a digital native, right? Wexer was born digital, but most companies aren't. So
true. Well, and that is like every single every single fitness CEO that's probably listening to this podcast is they started with the dream. They probably didn't start with the dream of going to have the best digital offering. They started with the dream of serving their members and achieving results for their members in a physical location, right? So I guess what is your advice actually there? Just to probe on that, like what would be your takeaways for people that haven't started, aren't digitally native, so they don't think that solves problems straight away? They go to their probably the old school thinking. What would your takeaways for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's innovation to be had in every company. I think certainly the companies the big guys that we know very well that have been born that way, the Salesforce, the Amazon, the Google, it's natural for them. However, something I did read about, whatever you say about Jeff Bezos, you love him or hate him, he has this strategy in his interviews, as I've read, where he always asks the person he's interviewing, something that they have invented. An invention could be small. It could be like a new feature in a product, a new way of loading the dishwasher.
Right.
But he looks for those small ideas in every candidate and every person. Doesn't matter if you're a senior executive or a junior developer. And I think that's what every company, in order to have that fresh view of things, has to be thinking about. Where are you innovating? Where are you trying to make a change in your legacy business?
I like that because it's a good question to ask, because it just sees how they've actually solved the problem as well, and in a nicer format. That's a little takeaway for everyone listening.
Yeah.
Okay. So then how do, and we spend a lot of time looking at getting advice from other industries to see how we can be better as a health and wellness sector. But what do you see? Like, are we as an industry, and you've got many experience within wellness yourself, like are we lagging behind? How are we compared to other sectors? Maybe
I think we have work to do. I mean, some of the other trends that I've seen, and certainly DMI has got some great thought leadership on trends in 2023. Yes. Yeah. Plug for the company to go look at that on their website. But I have just some of my own. I do think that there is opportunity for us to certainly lean into AI and data more. I think everyone talks about it. It is we're collecting it daily, right? Especially in the fitness arena. Yeah. I mean, I've got an Apple Watch, I got an Oura Ring, I've got like all the devices. Every bit of data you possibly can. They're all collecting data on my poor running performance, but it's it's like, how are we using that, and how are we going to make it feel like truly authentic and true to me and my needs? Obviously this if you've been, I'm sure everyone's been playing around with this GPT-3
I was going to say that,
tool, right? That is like going to change the way we translate and communicate, and dare I say even develop content. But if you've played around with it, as I'm sure many people have, it's still lacking that human authentic element. I mean, it's smart. Yeah, it's smart. You ask it a question, you give it a few thoughts, it can spit it out, right?
Well, I think what was the 10th most searched, because they published the results on what everyone's searching. Children's stories is like right up there. I think that was like second or something like that. Like, write a children's story for 500 words, something like that. But then the 10th was how do I lose weight, or like a version of how do I lose weight. And then so clearly there's a need, right? Like if that's what people are searching with OpenAI technology, there's definitely a need that needs to be served.
And I think in full transparency, I think we can do better, right? I think let's figure out, like, people are producing some pretty amazing tools. How do we help them so they don't feel so generic? And I'm not going to be a hater on it. It is a true amazing piece of technology that I think has transformational capabilities. But I still feel like there's something to be said for something that's a little bit more connected to the original human idea.
Because what like in a wellness experience, what does good look like for you? Is it data being qualified?
Oh my God, I'm sorry, my God.
Everyone's got a dog in the background. I mean, it's okay. Is it data being qualified so you can make more actionable decisions, like, hey, look, you didn't sleep well, this is the strain, or no, Whoop does this. What is it? What is good for you?
I'm sorry, read it one more time.
Sorry. What does good look like for you? Like, in regards to the I guess how the merger of that. Like, is it, hey, you had a bad sleep, here's your recovery, this is the workouts that you need to be able to do to be able to lift yourself? Or
I think it just giving me data is helpful, but what do I need to do? What action am I taking? Like, I think it's amazing that they're able to tell me that I had a poor sleep.
Yes.
Okay. Now what do I do? My day.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me what now. Well, that's the thing, and I think that's where the connection of, and you must see it in so many different industries, that's where the connection of different companies got to get together, because like, you've got one that's like the Whoop and the Auras that are creating so much data and actually doing some really good things to understand people's patterns and health and sleep. But to your point, there needs to be recommendations off it. There's actually a product called Coach Welly that's what they're exactly trying to solve, is trying to create, ingest all that data under an interface and bring in other partners and essentially serve up recommendations. So either through the club or or for a few insurance companies. So it's an interesting space to come to, but it's it's to be solved, I think.
Yeah.
But I think you're like billions of people, if I'm honest, and that it sets a good target for what the industry should be trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, another trend that I think also might be near and dear to the fitness community and certainly is content, right? Like I think unfortunately there has been a flood of content, and I think a lot of it is not so good. I think
agreed.
hopefully not this podcast, but
no. This will be fine.
But there's data on it, right? Like the Content Marketing Institute of America has said that less than 40% of content is effective. It's really not delivering on the goals.
And was that video content, or was that just general content?
Just content, period. Okay. But I think it does tie back, if there is a theme, to making it feel like it's personalized, making it feel like it's connected to me, making it feel like let's be honest, like even the word content. We never left a movie theater and said, "Oh, that was some great content," right? Or we read a book and said, that was some great content. We talk about these things now, like we even put some distance between the actual material we're listening to or reading or consuming and watching. And I think for us in the content production space, we do have a big role to play in producing content that is building an ongoing relationship with the people we're connecting with, that we're not just doing gimmicks and taglines and funny little TikToks, that we're actually creating something that has a mission, that has experience that people want to stay connected, come back to. So
and we've I know a lot of listeners would have heard this many times from me, but this is the thing is relevant content will always beat superstar level content, so you can actually compete at a low cost base as long as it's relevant. That why we kind of call it micro influencers, but those micro influencers, that's an individual that has their own channel that's creating let's say yoga content, has a following that's far greater in terms of constant views than the biggest superstar there is, that the Chris Hemsworths of the world, because they see her, they like her, and they can follow her, and that's a real I think that's a big challenge for us as a fitness industry, is letting go of the control. So not just having maybe 5 instructors that you've always trusted. It's actually opening them up to every instructor and we can, from a technology point of view, we can make that very easy based off, geo tracking, and that's what the content that comes up first, or they can save it and like use it as a playlist. But that's really that for me personally this year. I think that and the Wexer thing, that's kind of a Wexer mission as well, is just to make sure we're getting relevant content to the right people, and that's really the superstars in your local region. You're always going to be affiliated to your local yoga star more than you're going to be affiliated to a person, that's creating content that you've never seen, right? So, interesting. Okay.
Another one. If I've only got 2 more, so if you hold on.
No, go. Like I like it.
The other one that I also is something that I think is a trend for this year, and I hope it really continues to blossom, is lean UX. We've been 10 years ago it was introduced, and it has despite I think some huge success, a lot of businesses still don't apply the validation, leveraging cross-functional teams, prototyping, user testing, some of the core elements. I think oftentimes people get very excited about something that they have to produce, a product, an app, a website, you name it, and they quickly design something and move it into development. Well, guess what? It's not a good result when that is the
costly way of doing things.
Yeah. And we have
why is that? Because that's industry over. Is that because of pressure on deadlines, strategic alignment, not enough knowledge in terms of how to run a lean process?
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes it can be deadlines, right? You have to choose, but it's too easy to check. So I often find that as a scapegoat, that you don't have the time or you don't have the money. It's not a big expense. It's actually not that long to do a quick, put this in front of a handful of potential people who are going to use this tool. And I say people because I hate the word user. And it again dehumanizes the person who is truly going to use this and hopefully get healthier because they're using it, right? Or find, improve their lives in some way, potentially. So, we really do need to ask them. And I think businesses that really double down on this are going to be hugely successful.
And is it fair to say, or maybe I always look from a lens of fitness, but we used to do so much testing back in the club days, my club days, because you've always got the audience there. There are always people working out. So it's very easy as a gym floor person to say, hey, would this work? And we used to do it all the time before we did campaigns, all of that type of stuff. So there is an argument that actually fitness has an advantage, right? Because they've already got a database that's working out on a regular basis to test things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I agree. Yeah. And I think there's a huge, huge advantage to doing it. And I do see it as a major opportunity and trend.
What's your, because there's always so much debate on what is the test kind of beta testing users, and I'm going to not use users, amount, like they always do it, sometimes they suggest a percentage of the overall database. Sometimes they just do it really close. What do you normally recommend?
Honestly, it depends on the client and what their appetite for decision making is. Some clients really need to have it data driven. They want a survey. They want to have a nice quantitative set of results in order to make their decisions. Others, they can do it on 5 users that we just talked to in the gym, right?
Yeah, agreed.
It really depends on the company and their appetite for risk.
Yeah, well, because one thing Wexer learned from yourselves, a little plug for yourself, is that emotional interviewing technique. So actually spending a lot of time with the user to get way more feedback and outcomes than your traditional, hey, fill in the survey. We realized if we did, a survey that was, I don't know, responded to about 2,000 people versus 10, proper emotional interviews, actually that would always be more benefit. Like, okay, so you're saying the same thing, which again, from a fitness or wellness, if you're in a hotel chain and you've got users, it's so much easier to do because you've actually already got them there. You're not forcing them to do something that they, you can do it whilst they're in the gym or whilst they're working out or whilst they're participating in wellness. Yeah, okay.
Totally.
Go on, hit me with your last one.
And the last one is definitely also a favorite of, I think a lot of people have been trying to figure out what to do with it, is the metaverse.
Here we go.
I actually think the place where the metaverse is going to get some traction is at work. And I think especially in remote work conditions, which let's be honest, that's kind of the future that we've created for ourselves. And I think that as a tool to bring people together in a virtual way. I know that companies, major companies, are leveraging it for some of this right now, testing it out. And, I think that, I know everyone talks about how, in the future, you'll experience a sporting game from the shoes of that player. And this will be the new way that we're going to watch sports or but I actually think where it can be most beneficial and perhaps the easiest and valuable is at work in our remote conditions that we're all sort of living in, leveraging the metaverse and bringing people together through it, to train, to collaborate, to work.
Because that was one of my questions is you guys are very good at remote working. So what are the tools that people could use to build a successful remote working structure? Like, are you putting the metaverse in that, or?
I think it has the potential because when it comes down to the fundamentals of what it can provide, the fundamentals of a good remote working environment is that you have a good communication, strong support system, that the company itself is well understood and processes are understood and followed. And it's best when you do that together in an environment where you can't onboard. It's very hard to onboard employees and keep them connected to a company that doesn't have a good company culture, that they're not able to communicate with that person on a regular basis. And they're confused by what they do for their job or what processes they follow. If you can get those basics in place, remote work works.
Do you? This is literally just sprung into my head, so go with me. But it is like, do you think the more tools that we do, we actually disenfranchise the people that actually want to be in the physical office? So we essentially build models that only support remote working. And I just, I think someone showed me they had, those little robots with someone's face. So they were working at the same time, and then they could go around. And as a physical person, where you've invested the time to commute in all the rest of it, it was just the most frustrating experience, because you're having to try and find the screen and turn them around and, all this type of stuff. I know it was a little bit comical, but there's some thought in that.
No, I know it's I'm on the fence about it because, I have found that now I'm using in person to get my team together to connect with our clients. We'll have a client meeting. We'll come together the day before. We'll have some good working sessions to prepare for that meeting, doing our tidying up of whatever the presentation we're sharing or the ideas we're presenting. And then meet with our clients and do a nice dinner and do that around the work.
Understand.
Versus perhaps versus just going together. We tried to do, hey, let's all go in on Tuesdays and let's have lunch together and we need a purpose now.
It dies out, because then if people don't even feel productive, how many of our team members have said exactly the same, and they said, look, going on Tuesday, I actually don't. It's good that we talk, but I'm not as productive. And it's just it literally nullifies what work's all about. So okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so we meet up in regards to clients, and I think what would be your, because I guess and from a fitness point of view, your traditional fitness club, you're always there anyway, but you're still going to engage. But I guess there's been so much more influence now by other people shooting content and creating things outside of the club that actually to participate in the club. So it's the same rules that apply, right? If you're meeting directly for a purpose, then that's when you come together, and then when you're not, let them be productive in their own spaces, essentially, right?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. I like it. Okay, so then so for you, we talk a lot at Wexer from being relevant to members. That's the key. That's the key to success. What should people be investing in digital to be relevant to members in your eyes?
I think for the fitness industry, certainly, all the amazing fitness material as it relates to exercises and yoga and different things are wonderful. But I think where there can be real opportunity is in that wellness and in that health, that is that continuation of your activity at the gym or your activity after your workout. Is we've been doing a lot of work in the healthcare space around connected devices, and and specifically with there's a company called Philips Medisize that we support in building, connected medical devices to really monitor the health of people who have diabetes, for example. And, that continuation, that connection that this technology is now providing, I think there's opportunity in the fitness space. Like, you do a workout, great. Like, how does the gym or, the content provider or, applications stay connected?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. And then no, it makes sense. And then what would be your predictions for us in the next 5 years? What are you seeing as trends from an overall digital point of view that might affect the fitness industry?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the health and fitness companies, you're in a perfect spot to leverage AI and data in a really accelerated way. I think, as we've talked about it, certainly all the connected devices that people have that's gathering data day and night on us, it's a huge potential. I think that this will lean itself into, real acceleration of all of our wellness and fitness goals. And I think I really look forward to it, to be honest. That we can get to a place where it's not just supporting my daily workout, but that, like, you're actually becoming a part of my life. As I said, during, for the last couple of years, I have made it a huge priority. I don't think I'm alone in that journey. And it's
which commercially just improves lifetime value, right? Like, the more we get connected, the more we become sticky, and then the more it's an important part of everyone's, aura.
Yeah. And I think there's, the other thing we've been talking to our clients a lot about is not just the health and wellness of yourself, but the health and wellness of your environment. We're talking a lot about sustainability as it relates to technology, and being, really positively contributing to that as an environment, society message that, there's a lot of old technology sitting around, and it's we got to be really thoughtful about how we help our clients. That's why I think convergence is such a big trend. Taking something that has been legacy and old and merging into something new, but not wasteful, right? Don't with it. So anyways, a little off track on that, but I really do think that the trends for health and fitness companies as it relates to data are enormous.
I think convergence is a great term in terms of how many people. I think there's still a struggle with legacy systems, probably where they want to go versus the systems that stop them from going there. And some are just excuses. Some are partners that haven't changed with the times. Some are, lack of people to execute. But I like the word convergence to kind of wrap that all up.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, Allison, look, well, thank you very much for your time, firstly. But how would people get in touch with you?
Oh, well, thank you. They can reach me at DMI at Mataya, Mataya at dminc.com, or on LinkedIn. I have my LinkedIn profile, and I'm always welcome to connect with people. So
thank you. And then, from my, personally, we've spent many times talking about how things will plan out. So all I can say is Allison's given me a lot of advice over the years. So I would recommend reaching out and talking if you want to dive in a little bit more with Allison. So thank you for giving your personal your work email. All right, Allison, thank you very much for your time, and that'll be and look after yourself.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Talk to you.
Bye. Bye.